As Colorado kids sit down at the computer this morning to log on with their teachers, some are doing it without any parental supervision. We're not talking about parents in their upstairs office working from home. We're talking about parents leaving their kids home alone because they have to go to work. A study last month looked at the number of work from home parents in the metro area. 43% of households in the Denver metro with kids under 14 may be leaving kids home alone this fall. Denver 7's Nicole Brady is taking a 360 look at the reasons, the rules, and the impacts of leaving kids home alone.
In the 70s and 80s, they were latchkey kids coming home to an empty house after school while their parents worked. Fast forward to 2020, and now instead of a couple hours after school, it's all day because school is at home. So we're going 360, asking when is it okay to leave the kids home alone? We talked to Colorado's Child Welfare Department, a pediatrician, and two parents, both who work outside the home but with different circumstances.
And then do you have to put anything on the inside of the pages, or is this the only assignment that's due for today?
Jennifer Manis, a nurse, feels pretty comfortable leaving her three sons on their own. She's used to putting the oldest in charge.
From the age of about 11 or 12, my oldest was sort of being responsible for his siblings for up to an hour after school each day. He's a very responsible kid, has always been.
But now with remote learning 3 days a week, there's even more responsibility. The older boys have to do their homework and make sure 11-year-old Eric stays on task.
How helpful are your brothers when your mom's not here?
They help sometimes.
You worry about that kind of thing happening while you're not here. Like, are they getting along? Is everybody doing what they're supposed to?
Like any mom, Jennifer worries, but few would judge her for leaving teenagers at home. Amber NOVOTNY, on the other hand, wonders if she could leave 10-year-old Max all alone.
My son probably could, but as a parent, don't feel comfortable doing that or even safe.
Unlike some states, in Colorado, there is no legal age at which a child can be left alone. Colorado's Division of Child Welfare says it depends on the individual circumstances and the child.
Are they capable of protecting themselves? Are they emotionally ready to be home alone? Do they know how to reach out if there's an emergency?
But Yolanda Arredondo cautions while parents may decide a mature 9-year-old is ready, the state may think differently.
We're trying to empower parents to make the right decision for their family and for families and for their children, and at the same time understand when there might be a need to intervene due to a concern about neglect, child neglect.
When schools shut down in the spring, calls to the state's child abuse and neglect hotline dropped by 50%. Advocates worry with some schools still remote, cases of neglect may be falling through the cracks. The state's website, CO4Kids, now has a section for teachers, encouraging them to keep an eye on their remote learners.
Because teachers that are engaging with students, right, and may notice that there's not an adult in the home, or the child may say, I'm here learning, and there's not an adult caregiver.
While teachers must report child neglect, others who are concerned may consider offering help.
If there was a neighbor, say, for example, concerned about the supervision of the children next door, that they could ask the parents, how are things going? Is there something I can help you with?
This brings up another important consideration. Is it necessarily a bad thing for kids to be home alone?
It's not always a bad thing, and many kids do very well.
Children's Hospital pediatrician Dr. Antonia CHIESA says around 10 years old would usually be the minimum age she'd consider leaving a child alone. But in the right situation, some independence is appropriate.
And this is a big developmental milestone and really important, and it can give the child a sense of empowerment and a sense of autonomy. So if you have a good plan and your child is comfortable and they're of the appropriate age and maturity level, it can be done well.
The Manis boys are making it work, getting their assignments done and taking care of each other.
We go out and get food too much, but we make sure we eat.
As for Amber and Max, if school stays remote much longer, she may have to leave him home alone with a phone and mom close by.
I think a lot of these kids kind of had to mature a little quicker than they probably would have.
Nicole Brady, Denver 7.
So now we want to hear from you. Are you having to leave your kids at home to learn while you work? You can share your views right now when you email us 360@thedenverchannel.com.